Hey guys! Happy Thursday and welcome to Tea Time Thursday with me. And I hope all of you guys are doing well. I didn't do a tea time last week because I was in Joshua Tree and I didn't know where I was going to be at come Thursday around this time. But I'm so excited to be back and to be doing this. I look forward to tea times and to being live and to interacting with you guys. So much love. I hope all of you guys are doing well. And just to put it out there, I was gonna have a interview or a talk with a really old friend of mine, and he had a question relating to what we perceive. It's a construct of our mind or it's a part of reality. What was the question? Let me see really quick. Is what we perceive reality or just a construct in our mind? And I was super looking forward to having that conversation with him and live. We actually did have it last night and we decided to do it Saturday and 9 a.m. Pacific time for any of you guys who are interested in that conversation and who want to join. He couldn't today because he was working, but such an interesting topic, so we can go super deep with that one. But I wanted to talk today about nature and my love for nature and how much I feel that I'm connected to nature and just go through how I got into that space. And I would love to hear from you guys your experience with nature and how you feel when you're with nature. So, hey guys, waving back. I hope you guys are doing well. So, nature, how did I get involved with hiking? I hike a lot, or I used to hike a lot, and I am trying to hike more often, but the way that I got into nature was through a challenge called the 52 Hike Challenge, and I actually saw this challenge through a Facebook group called the Girls Who Hike LA and the Girls Who Hike Orange County. And I remember being super interested in it, but because I was so busy with school at the time, I didn't have time to sign up for it or to commit. So I just put it in the back of my mind. And graduation came around, and when graduation came around, I also had a breakup. And it was the first time in, I feel like, forever that I had so much time on my hands. And so through a conversation with my mom and through a season in my life in that time, I started to reflect on what I wanted to do or what are some things that I had been wanting to do, but I never had the chance because of time or because of other responsibilities. And this challenge actually popped up. And I remember being so gravitated to it and thinking, I want to do this. So I did. I ended up signing up for it, and you don't have to sign up literally for anything, you just go off. And the purpose or the intention of it is that you hike once a week for 52 weeks, which is a year, and the intention is to just be outdoors and to have a better relationship with yourself, with nature, and just be out, So yeah, I did that, and it's so crazy how just a small commitment can make such a huge change in life, because I started doing that, and every single time I went out to the wilderness and went out hiking, I felt connected and grounded, and it was fun for me, and it was adventurous, and I was so curious about the trees and the dirt, and I've always loved insects since I was a kid, and I still do. So I'd be curious about the insects and just, the animals that would pop up, birds, just everything. And the more I walked, the more I started to learn about different types of hikes. And that transitioned into my curiosity in hiking peaks. So peaks are just but they're just the mountaintops, the strenuous, hardcore, steep hikes to the peak of the mountain. And yeah, I was super curious of hiking one of those. So I ended up hiking Mount Baldy as my first peak, and I feel like it was life-changing. And because I hiked that peak, it made me want to change the way that I ate, and it made me want to work out, and not in a way of working out because I wanted to look good or because I wanted to fit into a certain size. I wanted to work out because I wanted to be fit to be able to climb these mountains. And for a while I tried to lose weight because I wanted to fit into this or wanted to fit into that, or because I was insecure. But this became such a motivational shift of a good intention in a way, where I wanted to do it because I wanted to explore more hikes and I wanted to keep up. So, hey Carla! So I am talking about nature and my love for nature and my connection with nature and how I got into it. So yeah, so I got into hiking the peaks, and like I said, hiking was totally life-changing. There was a period of my life where it was pretty dark and I got into a car accident, so I wasn't able to do hiking for a couple of months, but when I got back to being able to, it became such a place where I'd go if I was anxious, if I was nervous, if I was overwhelmed, and it just became my foundation to go to. And every single time I went out, and even now, every single time I go out, it just feels so good to be in that space. And yeah, I did the 52 hike challenge, and through every single trail I would walk into it, and it's so different every single time, and the trees catch my eye. Like I said earlier, just everything catches my eye and how different it is, and it really grounds me and it puts me into the present moment. And on Saturday, actually, so I wanted to talk about nature too, because I went to Joshua Tree last week, and a couple of days afterwards I went to I hiked Cucamonga Peak, and Cucamonga Peak is one of my favorite hikes in Southern California, and I had been wanting to do it for the last 2 years. I was gone to Vietnam for a year, and then I came back and I didn't do any peaks. And it was such a good reminder being up there of just everything that we are and everything that we can do. And I just wanted to share this with you guys on what I feel when I'm on the peak. And there's so much, but the main thing that I feel when I'm on the peak is the sense of how we're so little, but not in a negative way or in a positive way, just how the earth is so massive, the universe is so massive, and we're so little. And my thought goes into everything that we're worried about, our day-to-day struggles or our whatever problem it is, it's nothing compared to how big the earth is or how big the universe is. And at the same time, when I'm on the peaks, it also gives me this perspective of how we're so everything. We're all connected, and this perspective of endless possibilities comes into my mind of we are that, and that is us. So it's a little paradox of we are everything and then we are nothing. And it just feels so good to be on top of the peak and just really feeling that in my body and really grounding myself in that. And yeah, I just feel so good. It feels so fucking good. So I encourage everybody to go hike a peak. Or maybe not hike a peak, but go hiking. Go outdoors and connect with yourself through nature. And yeah, so that's one of the things that I feel when I'm hiking. And the peaks too, they're not easy to hike, but for some reason I also find pleasure in the challenge of hiking a mountain. And again, and it's such a metaphor too for life, where I'm so in the moment when I'm hiking of my steps and the rocks that I'm walking or that I'm passing by. Or on Saturday there was a lot of snow, and I'm afraid of the snow. I'm afraid of hiking in the snow because I know it can get slippery, and I just wanted to do it. I was so determined, okay, this is my fear, I want to try it, and I did it. But it was again that moment of just being present and being aware of just the 2 steps that are right in front of me. And the more we did that, it was just at a pace, and we were patient and we were calm. And some people, we can see like some people on the trail get really impatient, and it actually happened on Saturday where somebody got hurt. And because usually when there's no snow, you can go around or you can figure it out and pass people, but because there was snow, you really had to stay on this like one path. And you can tell how a couple of kids, I want to say, got a little impatient and they went around and they got stuck. But I don't know where I was going with that. I guess it's the purpose of like just being present and being calm and being in the moment and using that to guide you all the way up. And hey guys, so like I was mentioning, it's such a lesson in life as well when it comes to just being aware of what's right in front of us. And yeah, once you get to the top of the peak, it's this feeling of, for myself, it's this feeling of just so much gratitude and so much joy and bliss and just feeling good. So it's like you're feeling good as you're walking up, and then once you're there, it just feels so much better. So hey guys, so question for you guys. I'm talking about nature and my connection and love for nature, and share your experiences of you being outdoors, your hikes, any hikes that you guys recommend. So, and it's Ram Dass's birthday, or it was his birthday this week, so I wanted to share one of his meditations and one of his quotes, because that was, I totally understand that. And I did some experimenting a couple like years ago, so through that experience it just connected me more to the feeling and the knowing how we are one with nature. So hey Esley, so I hope all of you guys are doing well. So I'm here talking about nature and my love for nature, connection with nature. But yeah, so even like after I went on Saturday, I really thought of being more outdoors. It really is grounding. Are you still doing the interview? No, I'm not. So the interview, so if you guys saw, I was going to have an interview with my old friend about the question of our mind. What's the question again? Is what we perceive reality or just a construct in our mind? So, hey. So we were actually not doing it today because he's working, but yes, Esley, Saturday. So we have the interview on Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, so that's the question. Is what we perceive reality or just a construct in our mind? So we want to open up the conversation for you guys to answer the question and for you guys to let us know what you guys think. So we talked about it last night and it was a pretty cool conversation. Pretty deep, so we're excited to share it and just hear everybody else's. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Yeah, yay! So I'll see you Saturday. He's on here actually, but he's working. So very interesting. I know, I learned a lot yesterday. I was actually looking up articles and reading more about it. I have my own thoughts of it. So Esley said, nature is amazing. It calms me down and gives me a sense of freedom, especially when you are away from others. Yeah, that's another reason why I love to go to nature, that freedom. And yeah, and the solitude too. So I actually hike a lot by myself, and I like that feeling of solitude when I'm walking, or even when I reach to a waterfall or a peak, or whatever it is, a destination. There's also science behind it too, of how it changes your mind, and I don't know too much about it, but I know there is science behind it on how it calms you and it makes you happier and it makes you more grounded and connected. So I totally vouch for everybody to go out to nature, even if it's a park, like in your neighborhood. Go there and just be present and be aware of the trees, be aware of the birds, be aware of the grass. And so what I like to do is like I like when I go hiking by myself, I actually take my shoes off and I like to walk in the dirt and really feel connected with the earth. So, hey. So I'll share my perspective with you guys about, again, I said it earlier, but yeah, like when I reach a peak or when I'm hiking, how I have this feeling, how Esley was saying, of like freedom, and this perspective of how we're so little and we're so big. and how we're everything and we're nothing all at the same time. And it feels so liberating in that moment, and it feels so good. And when I'm on the peak hikes, how I mentioned, like I see the view and I see the houses and I see the other mountains, and I just have this feeling or this realization time and time again that whatever I'm worried about is nothing, is so little compared to what the earth is or what the universe is. And it gives me this perspective of how we're here for such a short amount of time, and whatever I'm worried about doesn't matter at the end of the day. You know, it also gives me this perspective of how we're so connected with Earth and the universe, and how we are it is us, and there's endless of possibilities. And that perspective or that feeling of how anything is possible just kicks in. You know, so I feel so good after a hike, but there's so much. I know this Saturday we were hiking, and when we got to the peak, we were imagining just being birds or being an animal, and just what it's like to be an animal, like roaming through nature, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so if you guys want to share your experience with nature, how it makes you feel, or anything like that. And again, you know, for a while I went to nature whenever I felt anxious, overwhelmed, frustrated, whenever I was stuck in something. And there was a period of my life where it was pretty dark, and I got into a car accident, and I couldn't go hiking for a little bit, for a couple of months. But during that time, I got into more meditation, into more reading books, and when I was able to go back into nature, I did, and I got so much clarity on what my next step was and what I needed to do. So yeah, like nature is just, like, I consider nature, Mother Nature, the woods, the mountains, the ocean, my friend, my best friend, the person that, not person, but the thing that's just always there when I need somebody or need something. So yeah, next time you guys are feeling overwhelmed or frustrated or anxious, take a walk, even around your neighborhood. I was actually talking to a friend earlier, and we were talking about how it's such a change, or you see a shift in you when you just walk outside around your neighborhood. And it's true, and we hear it time and time again, to just go outside. Go outside and just feel how good it feels. So, but yeah, like go to a park, it feels good, and yeah, make that as your homework next time when you go out, of just being really present in the moment, and again, being aware of the trees, of the birds, of the grass, and just your surroundings. Because when I'm with nature, I get really zoned into the present moment, and I get so curious too of how things work, or how the world moves, or how it's created. So it's pretty cool. Something about lakes and just water in general calms me down. Oh yeah. And it's interesting because I don't know what the percentage is, but we are also water. So it's that gravitation towards each other in a way. Okay, so a while ago I heard this podcast. It's like a 2-hour podcast. I actually heard it when I was hiking for my birthday a year ago. And it's about how much water affects us. In a good way, of course. In just like I'm talking about the mountains. In that way, because we are also water. So I'll send that to you. Maybe you're interested in listening to that. But it was really, really good. Really good podcast. But yeah, so I just wanted to come up here, or on here, and just share my love of nature. And again, these videos are, sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short, and I think this one's going to be a little bit shorter. But much love, guys. I hope all of you guys are doing well. I'm thinking about hiking this weekend again. Yeah, you know, I went to Joshua Tree, I went on a peak, yet when the week started, I was in a funk. And for some reason, I'm not even trying to wonder why, I just couldn't get out of it. And I'm just flowing with it. I've been flowing with it these last couple of days. So earlier today, I was thinking, like, I want to go on a hike this weekend. Like I said, it's really grounding, it makes me feel good, and it's a good reset in a way. So yeah. Okay, so I want to share this with you guys. So, many of you guys know who Ram Dass is. Many of you guys don't, but he is I want to say, a spiritual leader. He's a teacher. He's another person that I actually go to. He already passed away. He actually passed away a year ago. And he's a person that I also go to whenever I'm feeling a certain way. And his talks and his meditations are so grounding as well. And they really as well take you back into the present moment with truth and unconditional love and just with what's right in front of you. And it also makes you reflect a lot. Like if you're angry or if you get defensive or if there's something going on, it makes you kind of reflect on your work, if that makes sense. But okay, so I'm gonna end this with a meditation. Actually, I'm gonna say a quote by Ram Dass and then I'm gonna end it with a meditation. So, and it goes back to nature, of course. So this is how it goes. When you go out into the woods and you look at trees, you see all these different trees. And some of them are bent, and some of them are straight, and some of them are evergreens, and some of them are whatever. And you look at the tree and you allow it. You see why it is the way it is. You sort of understand that it didn't get enough light, and so it turned that way. You don't get all emotional about it, you just allow it. You appreciate the tree. The minute you get near humans, you lose all that, and you are constantly saying, you're to this or I'm to this. That judging mind comes in, and so I practice turning people into trees, which means appreciating them just the way they are. So that's by Ram Dass. So that's some homework for you guys. Maybe you can try looking at people as trees with no judgment and just love. But, okay, so let me know if you guys can hear this. Can you guys hear it? Okay, so if it makes you guys, I'm assuming you guys can hear it. So wherever you're at, if you can, so yeah, wherever you guys, oh, you guys can, okay, awesome. So wherever you guys are, if you can, just take a moment to close your eyes and just let this come into your ears and your heart. So much love, guys.
When you hug a tree, you're hugging yourself. manifestation of God. And that manifestation is love all the way.
Awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So much love. Go out and be near the water or the trees and go hug it. You're hugging yourself. So much love, guys.